Okay.
Okay, we are good to go.
All right. Let's do it, everyone. Welcome to episode number 1 of Capto's Agents of AI podcast speaker series. Interesting guest feature, soapbox for AI, whatever you want to call it. To be honest, we're still figuring it out.
Yeah,
And we, so much so that me, as your host today, I've been anonymized, and I'll reveal my identity in episode number 2. So for those of you that are already excited to follow along, I look forward to meeting you all officially in episode number 2. So, but we still have a special guest, and they aren't from outside the walls of Capto. It's Alexis. Is it?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I think today is like quite a good episode, and we will be the co-host for the whole series. So that will be that's a good first way to start.
Yeah, and we're kicking things off with him because we kind of realized that, you know, not only if you're a new viewer, like obviously you should get to know the CEO of Capto and one of the main hosts of Agents of AI, but also a lot has changed in Capto's business and basically, you know, the evolution here. So if you're a familiar face or a new one entirely and believe that you're an agent of AI, what I'll also say is get in touch with Alexi or myself at a later date. We'll put our LinkedIn profiles and links to Capto's website wherever this gets posted. We'd love to have you. So we're looking for guests and we're looking for things to talk about. So with that said, we're going to focus on just like an introduction of Capto, an introduction starting at the very beginning. So introduce yourself, Alexi. We'll talk about the AI stuff later. Where did you grow up? How did you get started with Capto? What do you like to do outside of Capto? Let's go there.
Let's take a step back here. But thanks for the intro. Yeah, I think it's perfect. Nothing to add on my side. So I grew up in France. You'll probably recognize it from the accent, which is still very strong. Stayed in France for 18 years and wanted to travel the world. So did that for until now. So it's been like 14 years. Then kind of during like my studies on unis, went more and more into techs and more into like actually technical on code, and really getting curious about that, which led me to my first job. To give you like a bit of a history, I was working at PwC in the Luxembourgish branch, where basically we were automating at the beginning the tax department, and then after was sent to London to do a lot of that for clients. And then, as everyone has been marked by, COVID happened. And I had kind of in mind at that stage, like already all this automation on how to do it better than all those proprietary solutions, or like there was a lot of different things to improve, I thought. And that's how basically we started Capto almost 5 years ago now. It's been a while.
Nice. And what about your like early life or career has set you up for success most with Capto? Like what skill sets and traits have you kept continuously as you move from Big Four, PricewaterhouseCoopers consulting organization to now Capto, being a digital nomad, running your own business? What are the things that like you look back on and say like, all right, these are the traits that like make me successful at Capto and like are most important?
Yeah, no, it's a good question actually. I would say that like the first one that comes to mind is actually the way we always try to make like super high quality work. That's something that when you're in a Big Four, it's like the standard. And the client service around it, like the quality of the relationship that you build with clients, is another thing. Then after, I would say that when I left PwC, I saw that business development was a thing that I learned and that I knew from PwC because I was building a team on dealing with clients. But it's definitely a different game when you don't have a brand that as famous as like the one from the Big Four. So I think that's the first thing that I learned actually with Capto, how to build a brand, how to build an identity, a reputation. And I'm quite actually excited to have you joining and have you announcing yourself in the next episode for that reason, because I know that we will do on that aspect, like this is a new beginning.
Cool. Well, speaking of new beginnings, because we're introducing today, but you already said it. Capto's been around for 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's changed a lot. I know this because I know you all well, and everybody will figure that out very shortly. But you've been around for a while. What has changed? Well, how about this? Like, what was Capto up until recently?
Yeah.
What changed? And then how did it all evolve, or like what's different today, and when did that happen?
Yeah.
Versus when you started 5 years ago and you were doing just automation, what was at the time process automation.
Yeah, definitely. But first, like, actually we know each other, so to give tips to people, but we know each other since the beginning, so we know each other since almost 5 years now. And what we were doing at the beginning was like RPA automation, so robotic process automation. And it was purely like automation, and two things changed in between that time when we started and now. The first one was the technology outside of Capto. A lot of things changed, a lot of abilities. When we started just 5 years ago, imagine, like, there was no ChatGPT, there was not a lot of things like this. So AI was definitely not like as powerful and as easy to onboard. So that's the first thing. The second thing is internally, and that's from Capto, what happens bit by bit, actually, over the 5 years. It wasn't like a one night, everything changed. It was more like we had, year after year, we had more and more projects with AI, and we started to play around and to actually give you the story. What changed was purely in terms of what we realized, what we are doing, changed over a weekend. Because we are already doing a lot of things around AI, but over a weekend, like, on LinkedIn, everyone was speaking about AI agents and stuff like that. I was like, okay, so that seems to do pretty much what we are doing, but those people seems to be calling it differently. So I went on a weekend. I went on a YouTube channel on like how to build an AI with Python, an AI agent with Python, and I went on it, and I did a video, and I was like, what the hell? It's actually what we have been doing for like the past year. And so it was a shock actually for me. And then after I went on like all the other competitors, like in AI agents, and understood that basically we were doing that without realizing it, with a layer of automation and process analysis that gives much more like confidence within the result that you get. And so, we can go long time on the technical aspect, but that's how it happened, and how things changed, on how people understood better what we were doing, and how we started growing like crazy since 12 months. And now since like 6 months, sort of like my mind's changed as well, like the way we want to change the industry and the way business is done in Europe, wanted me to build a team of A player, and that's what we are building now. We have like an amazing team now, and like each people that comes are like crazy high quality. And so very excited about what's to come. But that's how it happens.
That's a pretty cool story, how like basically, and I think it's probably too long for this episode, but like I think even a client you told me pointed out like, hey, you all are building AI agents, like why aren't you branding it as such? And it was like so simple that it just kind of clicked. Yeah,
basically I was like in a networking event, and a client introduced us to someone, and they were like, oh, they are doing AI agent before, like they were doing AI agents even before the people were talking about it. I was like, okay, maybe they don't have an understanding perfectly of what we are doing, because me, I was still on my old like RPA branding and stuff like that, technical stuff. And then after, when I discovered, I was like, oh God, like these clients knew better what we were doing than us. So yeah, that's sometimes it's interesting how you find out things.
Yeah. And, you know, we're always like positive and enthusiastic people like that. But like, I think like a part of that change, like, you know, be inspiring to other leaders that are in your seat that have run businesses for 5 years. What do you look back on, like, now that you've made this evolution and business has picked up in the last 12 months, especially the past 6 months, you're riding like a very hot wave of people demanding AI agents and demand for what you're doing. What were, as you look back, like, what are some of the failures that stuck out to you? And one, how did you get over them? And then two, like, how did it kind of like change what you are offering today? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the first one that comes to mind is the team. At the beginning, I was trying to do everything myself, to learn everything, and you never do as good as like with people that actually have done that, like are experts in that. And so that's the first one that comes to mind, because that's definitely the thing that changed over the past year, with getting like really super talented people. And it's exciting to work with them, and people are excited to work with each other. So that's like one of them. The second one, I am French, and actually the mindset around coaching in France is a bit different. It's actually quite traditional. And so the second mistake, I think, would have been I've got help from a coach back like since a while now, and this also transformed or kind of sped up the way I'm learning. And so I think that's the second thing, if I had to give two.
Cool. So shout out to that coach, and shout out to leaders who are vulnerable enough to ask for help, right?
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
that's like one of the main lessons that you learned like over the course of the past few years is like, hey, it's okay to not do everything yourself. And I think like for owners of businesses, sometimes it's difficult to like, you know, separate yourself from that burden. But
yeah, and it can be simpler than people think. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy, or you can just like have guidance and things like that and do it yourself after, but at least to ask for it.
Cool. And okay, so AI is a buzzword. It's become a cliche now.
Yeah,
You've talked about how it's helpful for your business and how you're delivering it for customers.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're still a small team. Like, the team's growing, but you're still a small team. Like, talk about like let's talk about for the small business owner, like the you know, the person that looks like you across the globe. How are you using AI internally to like accelerate the company's business as well too? Yeah.
Oh, that has been also internally like way transformed the way we do things in many ways. I think the first one where we started to save a lot of time was the documentation. When you do like code, when you do open source solutions, which tend to be the highest quality of solutions, but they are kind of like their flow is that you need a lot to actually understand what's going on. And to do that, you actually need to get the help to make it understandable by anyone. And so that takes a lot of work. And what we have done is like the first use of AI for us was this. And it took us previously kind of 1 week to get some documentation done. And now it takes something like a day or sometimes even less. So it's a huge difference. The second one is development. Like, the developers are massively helped by AI for developing. It's not solving everything and doing everything, but it does enable to actually get things like much faster.
Cool. All right, and we're going to circle back on like the client conversations and all the success that you've been having like in the past year. You know, what are those people coming to you with today that's different than what they were coming with you when you were working with them 3 or 4 years ago? Are they just like, are they seeing the hype that AI is and they're confused about what that actually means? Like, how have the conversations changed with clients in terms of like what you're delivering for them? Is it still just always focus on the outcomes, or is it now like, okay, people want to be aligned with what the future of a finance department looks like or a logistics department looks like? Have those conversations changed over the past 4 years, or are they relatively the same? Yeah.
No, they have been quite different. Like when we started, it was much more limited, and for 2 reasons: the size of Capto, the ability to, or ability or technical knowledge on how to deliver, on what to deliver. When actually along the way we built a whole vision on our side. So now, like what we talk about with CFOs is like how we build for them like this, what I call an hybrid team, half human, half AI agents, which will happen anyway in the 5 to 10 years time, on how we help the best way towards this. What I mean by the best way, it's not like what I often see, and I don't like this buzzword AI because it's a lot of gadget around, and so it doesn't really help, and it kind of lose the reputation that it's actually what it can provide and what it will provide. And so what we do is kind of like this expertise with a process on, we onboard AI agents the way you onboard an employee, which is like you teach them the processes that there is within the company's reputation, the company's values, and then you onboard them like you do with an employee. And then after in the team, you have this hybrid approach with like AI agents and like humans, and that's what actually makes like the whole change and makes things better.
Great. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit of what differentiates Capto as a company and what you deliver for your clients. Like, just talk about what separates you in what's really rapidly, because like we keep saying the word buzzword, but it's AI agent is like it's become so rapidly overnight a noisy space. I think we could like admit that and just be like, self-aware that we're not the only company that's building AI agents.
Yeah.
So talk about what differentiates a Capto AI agent versus the other companies that you see at the top of your LinkedIn feed or Twitter feed every single day. Yeah.
I think there is like a flow and a quality. I will start by I don't know if I should, but I will start by the flow of Capto. Is that we are pretty honest with like the work it requires work to do the AI agents that we are doing. But the quality behind it is that our AI agents are doing like not generic processes, but actually tailored processes that you have within your company. Might it be the closing the accounts, and so you need to know all the accounting and how the way it is done, the way your company is like naming things and doing things. So all the processes that you have in finance that are very specific, sometimes companies to companies, industries to industries. So I think that like the differentiator is one, but there is like the two sides. It takes more work, but it takes like also like it gives much more benefits.
Nice. It's probably I'm going to use an analogy here, and don't let if it's wrong, you tell me. It sounds like you can go and buy a suit at like a department store and pull it off the rack and do your real best to like tailor that and make it fit you better by taking it someplace that somebody's going to do the best they can with what it is. And then you also have the option to go to like Savile Row in London and get like what they call the bespoke suit that literally like to the millimeter is sized to you, and it's all the perfection that you want, and it's everything that it's this higher quality and this higher standard of customization. Is it okay to describe Capto as like the Savile Row tailor of suit making? And that's not like at all taking away from the department stores either, because sometimes department store suits look really, really nice as well too.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of like, I would say it's kind of in between. There's like, we are not like a huge corporate that do those things. So often I see like this, like, or people see this higher end in like big corporation. But what definitely, so what I'm very proud of sometimes is that we deliver our projects on our agent within like 4 weeks on average. And that's super fast. However, when you compare it to AI agent that you can see on platforms that are basically onboarded within like minutes. And so, it is definitely like super tailored. It does like much more, and it's as also quality, but indeed it takes a bit more time and a bit more work. So yeah, all the preparation, the cuts, on making things to the millimeter.
Cool. All right, so we're coming towards the end of what we like prepared to talk about today. I think, like I said, like the other thing that stands out is this is the first episode.
Yeah.
For those of you that are still listening, thanks for sticking with us, because we still have a lot to figure out of what we want to do with the format and the production.
Yeah.
At a very minimum, your mystery host here will not be a robot the next time that we do this call. But why are you doing a podcast now? Like what? Like there's so much content out there. Like what? Why are you doing it, and how is it going to be different? Yeah.
I think this question we can both answer to it, because I definitely would like to, since it's the first episode, I would definitely like to have your input on that. But on my side, I would say that like first we got so much more experience. We recognize that we have something that's valuable to say in the things we do. We actually recognize finally like the value that we bring. And I think that's something that we have been doing for a while, but that we didn't realize. And the second thing is that like we want to have fun and share from people that know. So not only us, but actually the people that are in the industry, CFOs, and like people that are like that are hands-on and share. And so I think this will be pretty fun on a different way to present it. The format will be different, but the value will also be much more. Much deeper. On for people that are following me on LinkedIn, I always try to like share real use cases, and that's the point of the podcast as well. Is like, since we are getting more and more knowledge, to actually be able to share this on with real cases here. But as you said just before I get you like answering this question, big thank you to the one that are watching until now. The format is like, it's the first episode, so that's pretty cool. But one of the things I'm super grateful for is like the support Capto is getting for people around us in our community. And the last reason that I would add on top of that is that we do want to build a community to help people, to help clients, but to also help people from the help that we are providing to our clients outside of Capto. And I think that's a way that we want to share more and more, not only on podcasts, but also on any other format that we might do.
Yeah, for my 2 cents here, since you asked, like I think that one of the things that's most appealing about me joining and working with Capto more intensely after we've known each other for so many years is that consistently you've had a lot of grit and perseverance in building your business, and also just really genuine approach in terms of building. And I think that we can bring that to the AI space as well. And maybe even like take a step back and take a step away from all the influencers that are just attaching themselves to it because it's the next hypey thing. I think that especially a lot of what Capto is delivering to its clients at companies that admittedly probably the rest of the world might not have heard of, is not like, on their refrigerator. They're not well-known names, but they're doing impactful things for the people that work for them and with them.
Yeah.
And I view, this Agents of AI platform as a place to elevate those people that are doing real work at places that, I just think of use cases that are micro in size, but that could be potentially big in impact. And for those of you that will meet me officially and know me, like one of my main words is co-opetition. I think that there's an opportunity for us to highlight what somebody is doing in a certain region or a certain space that could trigger, more use cases and more use of AI around the world. And I think that could be like a really, really like just inspiring goal for us to do this this thing. I think also it's a great opportunity to get detailed insights from people. You and I post so much on LinkedIn. We post on other platforms. Those insights are getting so bite-sized and so easily missed that this is another way for us to deliver, meaningful insight to people. So we have one final question that is hopefully going to be a tradition and hopefully going to be something fun that we could do with other agents of AI. And again, this is your reminder to reach out to us because we're, currently recording other episodes with other people and we want to get the backlog going. So please come our way. The title of the show is an intentional play on like secret agents or superheroes. So I guess the way that we could potentially do this going forward is, one, what's your favorite superhero or what's your favorite, and how does that relate to AI? Or who do you view as a superhero in the AI space? So who's your who should be the next agent of AI on this? I just put you on the spot and I can tell that you're thinking, but go ahead, take a shot at it. Yeah.
So basically, like, to tell you who would be great as a next invite.
Yeah.
I would say like CFO I know well, Antoine. He's like would be a great invite. Antoine Allard. He has like a vision around finance that's super insightful, super interesting. I didn't realize it at first, but while learning about him and seeing how he see finance and makes it move forward, I was very like I learned a lot from him actually. So yeah, I would say that that would be a great next invite.
Cool. That's a really good one.
Which actually, I don't know if he would be keen for it. But
well, hopefully, we'll have to reach out to him and see if he's okay for us calling him out in this first episode. But in any case, and do you want to take a stab while we have each other? Who's your favorite superhero?
Yeah,
you think would be a
I would say it's like not original at all. But Iron Man was definitely mine. I dream of having one day that basement working. I do have the impression in this episode to be with Jarvis. But like the basement with like all the text making things happen when I'm getting in my zone with the music and getting like I do less codes lately, but like when I was doing a lot of code at the time, I was putting music, getting in the zone and like getting things done and making like robots and like AI agents happen. That was one of the inspirations. I definitely would say tell him.
Cool. All right. Well, I'm envisioning an AI generated image of Alexis like merging personas with Iron Man. We'll have to get your face on an Iron Man suit, I think. So all right. Well, bye everyone. Thanks for sticking with us for the first episode. The next one will get better, and the next one after that will get better and better. So reach out to us. Let us know what you think.
Comment your feedbacks. Like this, we keep on improving on the way on teaching you the things that you want to learn. So do it.
Awesome. All right.
Okay. Cheers.